Okay. All right. I just want to double check that we are live. We are. Good evening. Welcome to Let's Talk About It with April. Each and every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, everyone, for your support, for your feedback. And I'm open for criticism, right? I want to get better. I want to evolve. And ultimately, I have a strategic plan for this platform in regards to our community. So please tap in, tell a friend, and tell a friend. This evening, we're doing something a little different, right? We're going to have a discussion this evening. I want you guys to introduce yourself. We're going to talk about manhood. I want you guys to introduce yourself. You can go ahead and start off. Gene, start off. Introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Gene Porter, um, mentor, public speaker, author. Just had a 50th birthday, so like I say, from my last interview, my life story is a lot different than a lot of people's, and somewhat the same as others. So that's me.
All right. Next, sir, introduce yourself.
How everybody doing? My name's Step. I'm a poet, a producer, a musician, um, and I just believe in being truthful.
So do me a favor. So let me know let the people know where you guys are from, born and raised.
I was born in Greater Southeast Hospital, Southern Avenue. I grew up in PG County, Maryland, but I feel like I touched many parts of the whole DMV area, and I would consider myself a serial entrepreneur. I done met a lot of great people just on my journey and purpose of just being innovative with entrepreneurship, whether that's me finding a way to get my music heard, finding a way to sell merch. I done came across a lot of people from being on my purpose.
Yes, I love it. Let us know where
Yeah,
you're from, born and raised.
I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. Moved to Virginia the summer of 1988. Uh, I reside now in Emporia, Virginia. I've lived like everywhere since I've been in Virginia. Before being incarcerated, I lived in Richmond, Petersburg, Hopewell, Norfolk. So been a little bit everywhere around since I came here.
Okay. You guys hear a little feedback, a little static?
Uh, just a little teeny bit. And bro, I don't know if you need to move your phone down so we can. I can see you. Yeah,
No.
Uh,
Okay.
right, right there.
yeah,
You can see I'm good?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I can see him now.
So again, this evening we're discussing manhood, right? Jenny and I were
Mhm.
kind of playing with the topic as we were trying to get set up and waiting on Step to get in. And he pointed out something interesting. And what he pointed out, I think I actually kind of want to start there, right? And so Step, what he pointed out was the idea of how, and as you know, right, I think we've been briefly discussed this on the interview we did some time ago, right? The idea of how things have changed drastically, specifically within the household in our culture, right? And something he
Mhm.
mentioned, I won't dive too deep into it. I'm here to just kind of try to navigate the dialogue, right? Y'all the men, I'm not. But he mentioned specifically about how things are so different that there are things that used to be okay, things that were acceptable, things that were
Mhm.
tolerated, things that were
Yeah.
part of the culture and part of the household, that we no longer accept or subscribe to, and we pretty much demonize. Is that what you pretty much are saying, Gene? Today we kind of demonize
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
So without
most
me
definitely.
pointing out exactly what he said, I just want you guys to kind of dive into some areas where you guys feel that difference, that drastic
Mhm.
difference that has caused a shift
Uh,
in the environment specifically for the men. Step in
Hmm.
and tell us your perspective.
Before I wanted to know, can he give me some examples of what he feel that changed?
That's good.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so what we're discussing is like the topic really was like the difference in the relationship status as far as like it's taboo or it's against the rules now for our grandfathers had two families. Let's we be straight up and honest. Like and now, like even with clients and people I train or talk to, like women get caught up in saying the man cheated or whatever. But like we
Mm-hmm.
said, religionly based Christianity in American status is the only religion that you can have one wife. For me,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, through my travels and studies, when I was deep into Islam, you know, some coaches say you can have 9 wives, some say you can't. We got this whole poly thing. We look at Neo and all them, but they have more than one wife now. Even listening to Iyanla Van Swin, when she said like back in the day, she couldn't have handled, you know what I'm saying, how she was. She couldn't handle a man having more than one wife. But now she was like, shoot, hey, she's all with it, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing was just like how much everything that was okay is taboo now, basically, or it's like, oh, it's looked down upon. And I was saying like how things drastically changed. Cause I know for me, like growing up, learning about my grandfathers, both of my grandfathers, my mother's father and my father's father. Like my father's father
Mm-hmm.
had 24 kids.
Mm-hmm.
My When I got older and learned about my mother's father per se, he had a whole other family like down the street. I found out about other aunts. I knew I had seven. I knew I had six aunts and one uncle, but then come to find out later on, we got is more of them from his other family.
Mm-hmm.
So, but our
Yeah.
grandmothers knew about this. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
they knew about it. They accepted the kids, but it was like that she
Yeah.
couldn't come around. So that was
And it's
just like
funny.
how do you?
And it's just funny as a people when you talk about back in the days, how they say we got more money and resources and opportunity today. But if you notice, people are scared and dodging having kids these days because of the economy. Where, like you said, your people had 24 kids. My grandfather's mother, my grandma Ruth, she was a sibling of 20 something children, I think, too, back in the day. But I feel like with all the chaos that we have in our community, all the chaos as a people, I just think as time went on, I feel like man had got weaker and weaker and weaker. Meaning, when I first started the show, I spoke on how I feel like I believe in being truthful. But they done such a great job. Like I know as a man, it's in our nature. I know um, me personally, I feel like I need women. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to live in this world without a woman. That's just me. I'm not even gonna act like I'd be tough. Just to be in the company of women, especially beautiful women, is just exciting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
And I believe with the power that women have gained socially, they use the woman to weaken man. And when I say man lost their way and being truthful, the reason why those things are frowned upon is because we accept people to disregard our nature. And we also then got caught up. We allowed them to beat it up because we didn't feel short so many times being victims of lust. You
mm,
get what I mean? Because really having the multiple, they promote poly and having multiple women in this time like all fun and games. They
mm,
sexualize it. They don't
mm,
really talk about the benefit of building if you got multiple and we all on the same accord.
Mm-hmm.
I think of people that I was influenced by, like the great Muhammad Ali. And I know he's
mm,
just a man. I'm pretty sure I know Ali sinned just like the rest of us, but I also know he was an influential man. And it's something about a man that a woman going to want regardless. Ali was married. You think the other women in the world that came across Ali didn't want Ali? Do you think Ali resisted every woman? It's no way possible. I know the nature of man. He couldn't. Some men are meant, in my opinion, to share their wisdom and guide multiple women. We do it anyway. It's just, it's a lot of curse going on because a lot of us now doing it in deceit. We so scared to lose out that we're playing games. Man not standing on business. Bob Marley, I remember I seen a documentary with Bob and Rita Marley was speaking about how they had a performance in Europe and the song that Bob got, Turn Your Lights Down Low, it was for a lady that he had love for in Europe. And Rita Marley at first was saying, I will not perform that song. And Bob told Rita, no matter how you feel, it was the truth. What he expressed in the song was the truth. And I was just so amazed at Rita Marley, how she was just smiling in the documentary. That lets me know she has supreme understanding because she ended up forgiving him. She put her emotions to the side and she didn't leave Bob because sometimes some people are wise enough to understand nature. Even though that woman wasn't Rita Marley and his wife and this, that, and the third, he still had love for that woman. God do things in a mysterious way. We look at the story of King David. God told King David he was going to bless him with a king that's going to be wiser than all the other kings. But think about this. How did that king come into being? King David, being a human, seen Bathsheba looking good. He lusted after her, which was in violation. He got her husband killed because he wanted her. And that ended up being the mother of Solomon, who God already told King David he was going to bless him. So when I think of stuff like that, it just lets me know it's in our nature. God knew.
Okay, so
God
as
knew
a
he was going to fall victim.
so look, and I hate to cut you off, right? Because you're
I'm
flowing.
sorry.
But as a married woman here,
we
of today's time, I got a question. I'm gonna let you jump in and piggyback off what he had to say. So as because you mentioned, I think you said that she had I don't know if you said wisdom, I think you said understanding is what Bob Marley's wife had. And
I believe so. Through time.
Right. And so of course, I'm not gonna say of course. For me, I don't believe that I like wisdom or understanding in terms of understanding or overstanding, should I say, the dynamics of family culturally and where we come from, the traditions of our ways, in spite of the flaws and the fall of man, if you will, in terms of their nature, right? I think that even in knowing all of that, I wouldn't even say there's an insecurity factor or lack of wisdom. I think I would say knowing who I'm married to and how he thinks and feels about his rightfully place in this world, right? And his rightfully place with me. I think it probably, and I'm saying this for the women that probably don't agree with it. Because I think a lot of times when we disagree with that, oh, it's insecurities, and a lot of it's not really that, because ultimately, and you guys have to attest to this, it's ultimately you guys' desire and your, you know what I'm saying, and your ultimate plan and what God has you here on the earth to fulfill, right? Is that it's not up to the woman. That a man can allow a woman to discourage him from whatever his journey is supposed to be like. But if you are a woman like me that has a man that's on a journey and it doesn't entail that, that doesn't mean that you're insecure, you lack wisdom. And I'm not correcting you, Step, at all. I'm really just trying to add another layer to it because I know, many years back I probably responded, oh no, I probably would have been a little like sassy with my reaction, right? But knowing that ultimately it is about the assignment on the man's life. That's why I love how you inserted the plans God had for Saul. The plan that God had, because it was an ultimate plan, and it was part of the destiny, right? And another thing you mentioned I thought was key, and I'm gonna let you jump in, Gene, is that nowadays most men don't even know what their path or plan is, right? They don't even have the understanding or the intuitive connection to even understand what the journey should entail and who should be a part of it. Therefore, when they try to play that role, they out of pocket, out of alignment, because they don't even know what the journey is supposed to be. They haven't even gotten the wisdom, right,
Mhm.
from their Almighty to let them know what is supposed to unfold for the plans of them and those they're going to cross paths with, right? So you jump in, Jen. You let me know your
So,
take.
so two things. One thing, like he said, and in the book it says David was a man of his own heart. That's what God said, you know. So he knew who he was. But also, like you said, I think it goes to another verse: to whom much is given, much is expected. So if a man or we don't know who we are, you know, that makes it way more difficult. If you can't take even in Islam, if you can't take care of one, you don't need more than one, you know.
Mm,
But and so it's, all that goes into the clear understanding, and not to say that is that's how it has to be. What the whole thing is that a lot of things where our tribe has gotten weaker, or the
mm,
things that upset them more, and where we're losing focus as a whole. You know, don't get upset because men don't love with their bodies. You
mm,
know, like I always tell, from my mother taught me that if you love a woman, you provide for her. You know what I'm saying? You become a good provider. You take care of her. Now, if that somehow some people are, but the other parts are essential too. But if you don't, men don't love what they, but women love with their bodies more so.
mm-hmm.
And it's, you know, because that's where they know. Like Method Man said, you got the good power of you. Like, so it's those things that have been peeled back and let like you said, led astray. Not saying that it's for everybody, because like you say, I always say King Solomon said he had 300 and 700 concubines. The women of today too crazy for all of that. So
Look,
it
and the men aren't even in a position to be able to
yeah,
handle that many, to which is
and
to your point.
and they're not even secure in the alpha, like we said about the alpha manhood, like knowing who you are. Like every day I try to teach the boys that's around me about like one of the things I tell my boys that I teach boxing, they might pout, they do a lot of pouting and stuff now,
Mm,
or crying, and I'm like, yo, did a girl break your heart? And I'm not from the school like you're not supposed, boys not supposed to cry, but have a meaningful reason of why you crying. Just don't be pouting and all that stuff, because that's a female. Men have XY chromosome. We supposed to deal with our emotions, not in our emotions.
mm,
Women have an XX chromosome, so they deal in their emotions more so than anything else. That's their nature. So not saying that is all right, but people, y'all just want to have more. Nah, it's not even about that. It's just being fruitful, multiply. Like one thing I seen a saying where they said most of the wives gave in the biblical time gave their maids to their husbands.
mm.
You know, they had that, but not to say that it's all perfect and right, but it's just so many different layers of all
Yeah,
of it.
I
And
think
so
we're not here trying to sell the idea, right, Steph? We're
no,
just
no,
touching
no.
on the reality that
The
did
Yeah,
exist
difference
at the
of
time, and it was
the
tolerated and accepted, and there were different steps. Do you think that I don't even I'll let you guys be the judge, but do you think that could not having multiple women? That's not what I'm
mhm.
asking, but do you think the standards, the requirement, the acceptance within the
yeah,
household based
yeah,
on the man leading, do you think that has a
yeah.
lot to do with
The
what has weakened the
the
man?
yeah, the reality is man gonna have multiple women, period, even if it's in different parts of his life.
Mm,
Period.
right.
It's just it's being promoted as something bad, and that's false. But
And it doesn't have
it's a
not
deep
to cut you, brother, but this right here, it doesn't have to be sexual. So first time that people think about is we talking sexual. It's not always
yeah,
about the sexual part. It's if this person over here is helping me or can listen to me. Like I said, every
yeah,
man, truthfully, and this goes for, and then people may disagree. Every man, every married man wants a wife. Every man wants a wife, but he want a girlfriend too. And
Hmm.
it's not about the sexual part. it's the person that you can talk to and don't get fussed at.
Mm-hmm. If you don't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I I almost don't like everybody got different desires. I do believe there's
Mm-hmm.
some men out here that desire to be connected with one.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm talking about is it's a deeper problem because we on multiple, meaning more than one.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even as a man in these times, predominantly, we're not even connected with one right now. It's
Mm-hmm.
a deeper problem. The black family is all out of whack. It's no household. It don't exist anymore. It's just survival.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So when you even mention some of the boys are pouting, because nine out of the 10 boys in this era grew up without male influence in the household. They're pouting for a reason because women pout. That's who they're seeing pouting. And it's coming out in society.
Mm-hmm.
And and if we all out of whack like that, it's no purpose. So it's not even, and then to get on men, it's not even enough caliber of men that really have the recipe to guide because a lot of men don't even know their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The one start with self. If we don't get all the, if man, and I'm talking about these times, like
Mm-hmm.
the struggle with man, and now most men want to be successful in whatever capacity. It's in
Mm-hmm.
our nature. We
Mm-hmm.
meant to conquer. And a lot of times our cheat code has been a woman. A woman has that ability. A woman that truly love a man can really motivate a focused man to accomplish wonders for real. But of
Absolutely.
course, like I said, we living in the time where we don't have that. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's why if you look at the movie Rocky, that's a great example. Whenever you see the movie Rocky, whenever he had a fight, and see Adrian loved Rocky, so she didn't even want him to fight.
Right.
So but he's a fighter at heart. That's just man nature. We don't lay down. We gotta conquer. And he wouldn't train right because Adrian wouldn't be with it. And then towards the end of the movie, she had started to believe in him,
Mm-hmm.
and she had let him know that she support him. And then soon as Adrian showed that she support Rocky, the theme music come on, and
Right.
then that's when they show Rocky training. That's a metaphor of life. A lot of us are being Rocky in life with no Adrian. It's almost
And
hard
can I
to do that.
add this step? Can I add this? Not only that, because what I'm remembering, I felt that when you said it, in terms of her now. So once she begins to believe in him, then she can support. See, that's a problem for me as a woman because you don't. I'm not gonna say you shouldn't have to believe in him. I'm not saying that. You know, always got a disclaimer just to be clear. What I am saying specifically is that there are going to be many things we don't believe and understand. That's something my husband tells me all the time, you know, since before we were married. There's going to be many things I'm not going to understand or believe or even agree with.
Mm-hmm.
But when you understand that the man is the head and he's a leader, you trust what you don't believe, right? You trust what you don't agree with. Understand that, okay, so if he wants to box, even though I'm afraid of him being hurt, I'm not thinking about this selfishly. I don't want my man hurt, but if that's what he wants to do, I have to trust that he's going to do what is necessary to protect himself, right? Not just about believing. I think I know of many women that that's an issue. They don't believe in his dream. They don't believe he should still be right. They don't believe he should be coach. They don't believe he should quit his job and become. I don't believe. And because
Yeah.
our feelings are
Yeah.
triggered by what we believe, or should I say, our belief feeds our what we feel, right? And then whatever we feel, we're gonna go with, like you pointed out earlier, Jim, we're gonna go with whatever we feel. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to insert that to say that it was
Yeah.
had she just trusted Rocky, the theme
Yeah.
music would have came on 25 minutes, 30 minutes earlier. You know what I'm saying? But I
Mm-hmm.
understand the metaphor, but I think that is important
Yeah.
because a lot of us women, we are that. Because we don't
Though,
believe or agree, we won't trust.
yeah.
And that's a part of the
And,
alignment and why the black family is so in disarray.
and those women who don't believe never get blessed with the real king in the end. It's impossible.
He's unable
You
to
could
evolve
be
into that. which
You
you
could
should
be
when
the
you with her.
most you could be the most nurturing woman. You could be a nice woman, kind woman, beautiful woman. You could have all those attributes. The non-believing for the one that's really going to extend, that one non-belief cause her to not be chosen.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
And that's all that we really want somebody to do is believe in us. Like I said, like the brother said, like his poetry, his music, all that stuff. Like that's like me. When I started my gym, I started outside with three people. You know what I'm saying? And I was writing my vision even when I was in prison. I already said what I was gonna do. But to have that person behind that believes in you and knowing like I'm gonna make a way. You know what I'm saying? I may not have nothing. I've left out the house with no money training people outside and come home with $300 and $600. But I had to believe and sometimes the women don't see the vision.
Hmm.
They don't see like when we on the mountaintop and we see it
And
or
that's
we
supposed to.
yeah. And then
The
and
vision's
they
not
don't, they
given
don't
to us in
stand
most
back.
cases.
And that's the thing. They don't stand by it. And it hurts us, you know what I'm saying, to be honest, it hurts us because like, yo, all we trying to do is stick to the plan. All we trying to do is what the message that we get from the higher power, we try to stick to it because we supposed to be the head. And a lot of women, oh y'all can't lead us, you ain't leading us, but have you gone hungry?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You tell us how your father or your uncle or somebody else you saw do it. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? That's how they did it. That's maybe not how he might come up with a beat. Might not be the same way I come up with a beat. You know, so it's different.
And,
You
and,
know,
and
so
you know,
that's
but believe it or not, that's why I started off with what you had spoken before we went live. That's why I
mm-hmm,
started off. It probably seemed awkward, right? And
mm-hmm,
it probably feel like, oh, the cart before the horse. We talk about men and women. We can't even handle one. I start that way intentionally because
mm-hmm,
what I was hoping, and you guys did a great job at. I think what ultimately, and it wasn't a plan because you just mentioned it to me, before the live.
mm-hmm,
What stuck with me as we were waiting on Steph to get on is that men during that time, with all of that, they were able to have the vision, make it plain,
mm-hmm,
run with it. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
Provide, grow, evolve, mature, and have other families. And was able to do
mm-hmm,
all that. And here it is. We're talking about today's time. You don't even have a wife. You don't even have kids. And somehow
mm-hmm,
still can't seem to get the vision, write it out, make it plain. So, and I guess we just ended with the notion, because I actually spoke about this a year or so ago, that a lot of us, we talk about what a man can. I don't want the bus drive, and men aren't leading. If you ain't leading right, and I ain't following. Well, ultimately, what I really think the issue is that, and you touched on the step, is that first of all, I believe we can get a man to do any and everything we want them to do. I think the problem is we want y'all to do any and everything we want y'all to do that's not aligned with the vision and journey that the Most High has on your life. And so I
yeah,
think that's how we get out of alignment, and then you get a man that hasn't reached his full potential, and you want to blame him. Well, ultimately, we have, in my opinion, have a lot more to do with that than they do. Just based on
mm-hmm,
what we saying, because I don't believe it's. I don't think y'all looking for us to believe, because if the vision is given
Um,
to you, sometimes we can't even understand what the vision is.
yes,
It's trusting. What a man wants
mm-hmm,
is trust, not belief.
mm-hmm.
And y'all
That's
correct me if I'm wrong.
yeah, yeah,
I I feel like it all stem from the man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like meaning the chaos that we getting, even though we see the behavior of certain things, I'ma still say it's because of the man. Because for one, like you said a lot of women can get a man to do this, that, and the third, but a lot of things that they want don't align with the purpose. I blame that on the man because sometimes beauty is in the eye of the beholder. We don't have enough wisdom to know what true beauty is. We so vain, we're not even picking the right one. So that's a violation.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and this is a message to the fellas too, because I ain't cutting us no slack. Believing, getting a woman to just believe ain't enough. Some people got a belief, but it's no work behind the belief.
mm-hmm,
So we corrupting the woman mind right there too, because it's only a few that really believe and then they're showing you the work.
Mm-hmm.
Those the women that's fools that really got the greatness beside them, and they, if you didn't know Kobe was gonna be great, then you just silly. He was putting the work in. You can see him doing it. You can see he's desiring it. If you don't have it, then I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the man that just because he said it, you should believe. No, you got to do. I don't think it's enough doing, and it's not enough properly choosing. Men, I feel like we got to really in these times because we in critical condition.
Mhm.
I feel like, and this a hard one right here because I'm battling it.
Mm.
I feel like as men to really and I'm only because of the times that we in. Of course, in the perfect world, we would want to come up, how they say, get it out the mud. Of course, we would want our dream girl to get it out the mud with us. But a lot of that ain't reality in these times because the mind been so corrupted. People got to see things. So if man can be disciplined enough to not even be in the company of women until he build himself up to a level where his purpose is attracting what he needs.
Mhm.
It's easier for a man to get the best out of women when they chose him.
Mhm.
I really believe women choose the man and it's up to us to keep.
Mm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I always said that like the difference, like you go if you go in a club or let's just say over history over time, the woman always chose the men. Men never choose women. You know what I'm saying? They make the choice. It's just like in the jungle or whatever. And watching animal shows, it's the one with the animal, the male species is always fluttering his chest out or doing the things to get the woman to look at him. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And a lot of times, like you said, the roles have been reversed. Like for me, bro, like I did 18 years in prison. The men that I saw before I left are not the men that when I came home in 2012.
Yeah,
1993 men and 2012 men were totally two different calibers.
Mm.
When I came home,
yeah,
the man staying at home now. And that comes also because a lot of times when women pray for the man, pray for the man. They pray for a man, but they don't put specifics on it.
Mm.
You know, and then when God sends you a man, the universe sends you a man. It just sent you a man. He just sent you the body form that you asked for. But you didn't say these things, these things. And then sometimes women now don't let men be men. The ones that really want to be men, they don't let them. And then they compare them to the man that wasn't a man, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
but that's the man again. That's what I'm saying. Like I get
Right.
what you mean. Like what you just said. Of course, we understand that terminology, but that's when men got to be men again. Real men don't even. A woman can't allow me to be a man. That's just who I am.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So when is man gonna it go back to the discipline? A lot of men don't want to stand on business because women got the JJ. You
Mhm.
already said it's men that have traveled. Shannon Sharp was just on the show and said he went to London or he went to
Mhm.
Paris to go be with a woman. Rick James, when he performed Fire and Desire live, one of the greatest performances, and he telling the story, the girl he wanted her stuff, so he took her to Paris or somewhere he could. But that's just showing you how powerful the woman is, and it's going to take us to be strong to resist that temptation that women can cause for us to display what a man truly is. We can't even yield anymore. She didn't let me be a man. Where you were
Mhm.
supposed to be willing to lose her.
Mhm. Mhm. And
Some of us is not willing to lose. And I get
what
it.
you
Some of
but
us
as
been
what
blessed with some of us been blessed with charisma. Some of us
mhm.
been blessed with good looking. I've been blessed in life. I done had multiple experiences and good experiences with women. And sometimes I do as a man, the empathy I got, I don't want to say nothing. I don't want to be like the unattractive or just socially awkward, but I done met some men that I was like, damn, I know he ain't probably get to experience even what I've experienced from different women. And I had to really think how that could be suffering for some men. Because I know how good it feels to just be in the company of women.
Mhm.
It's some men that just not that appealing to a multitude of women. And that gotta be a suffering for some, but either or, we
But
gotta be,
physically and mentally, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
both. For whatever reason,
right.
they don't spend that much time. All they could go off of is what they see in the movie. The movies display many different scenarios of love and romance. That can affect the mind because as a man, we all yawn that. The worst of the worst man want a woman that he can really be mesmerized over. It's in our nature.
Mm-hmm.
So some of us don't really get to experience that in life because of how shallow this world has become. And that do a lot of damage. So when a man finally gets some type of female, he don't even feel like he can be his full manly self because it might risk losing. So he might withhold some of who he is in fear of losing that. And some women have perfected how to take advantage of that type of man.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I was about to
But
say. I was about to ask you about that, about the I say the fourth and goal scenario. Like a man does so much, you think you right at the goal line, and then you do something and you get a 15-yard penalty. You know what I'm saying? Like you think you about to score, like you've done everything, you think you've done everything that she's told you to do, and you're like, I'm right here, I'm about to score the touchdown, just in life in general, like making her happy, and then the penalty flag. Well,
yeah,
you ain't do that this week. I
mhm.
I was right there.
because because God not playing with His word. Um, He don't want no master, no God before Him. And what I mean by that is some women then trick some of our men of putting them in the pedestal of a godlike.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes man get disappointed where they feel like they get the touchdown and God give them a lesson. Oh, you didn't get it. And sometimes even though you're a nice guy, you did it. Sometimes when you think about it, you did all those things to receive something.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you're a nice person, some of those things aren't natural acts. God, when they talk about Jesus, they talk about a spirit who went all the way to the cross. I don't think Jesus was willing to do all the nice things to get what he was going to attract. So sometimes God got to humble you. He can't let you get to the touchdown because it ain't going to be a real touchdown anyway. Can you score the touchdown being you?
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
Not because of what you did. And sometimes men, we got to understand that. Sometimes we got to take the risk of introducing our struggle to them. Like when 50 Cent had that song, 21 Questions, would you still
mm,
love me if I flip burgers at Burger King? It's a real thing. That's why I know I'm blabbing, it's just coming to me, but like
No.
Aladdin, Aladdin was a great movie with a message because Aladdin was poor. He was in the dirt. He was despised. Jasmine was a princess, but she seen his soul.
Mm-hmm.
His soul was so great that she didn't even care about his status, and he got the baddest. Jasmine is the baddest in Arabian Nights and all that. And Aladdin got her being who he truly was. And being who he truly was, he was still able to come through with the flying carpet. You know what I mean?
Man,
That's
listen.
a message for people who got understanding.
And we got to stay right there because I personally think that as a woman, I think that that has everything to do with the fall of man. And I'm gonna use that because that's what I feel, right? I
mm,
feel like men have fallen, unfortunately, in a way that I don't know if men have fallen in this way ever in humanity. I could be wrong, right? I'm
mm,
no historian, but I just feel like to both of y'all point things have changed drastically. I think it's that. I think so. There's several things that were said, right? I mentioned a moment ago about how a woman can get a man to do anything, right?
mm,
And so I need to kind of add to that because any woman can get any man to do
mm,
anything, right?
mm,
But it takes a certain man for any woman to allow him to do and be anything. Because ultimately, it's not
mm,
our decision, it's our persuasion, right? It's our
Mm.
influence, right? So if because people say, "Oh, you got him wrapped around your finger," as if that's a great thing. That's actually a horrible thing. If you got your man
Mm.
wrapped around your finger, you're in a horrible position. Because
Yeah.
one of two things that happen, as Steph just said, either he's not possibly fully being him, right? Or he's so weak and so fragile that he's willing to jeopardize and risk it all for the sake of you. And you gotta know you don't have a real man. You have
Yeah.
a male
Hmm.
Mm.
species, right? I don't mean you have a man. And so I overly explain that to say that us as women, and I respect you, Steph, for always putting the men in the position of being accountable because you guys are the head. You are.
Mm.
You are. I don't care what society says. That's never going to be removed. I don't care what's going on, and we ain't gonna get too far into all this other stuff going on. The man is the head, right? And so therefore, you guys will be the accountable one, regardless of what level of influence you allow us to influence you to do or to be or to not, right? And then lastly, another thing that was mentioned just in terms of the movie you just referenced, right? And how he was able to beat him in the mud with nothing. And she didn't see what he had obtained. She didn't want him because of what he was able to show her and provide for her. She saw what was in him, not what was on him or around him. And I
Mm.
think that has a lot to do with the fallen man because man is so busy trying to get something to show that they can provide. And so they're trying to be something that they aren't at the time,
Mm.
all for the sake of getting a woman that he's not going to be able to keep because he wasn't himself. And he didn't do what Steph said earlier, put himself in a position where forget a woman, get your manhood together, right? And then put yourself out there in the field. You shouldn't be in the
Mm.
field if you ain't ready to play the game. And too many men, I think, have put themselves in the game when they should be on the bench. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like getting the wisdom, sharpening themselves, centering themselves, aligning themselves. And because everybody wants instant gratification, because that's what women are now. I want instant gratification. I'm not about to sit back and watch you shoot 200 jumpers every Saturday and trust you're gonna make
Mm.
it to the NBA. Them core
Mm.
women ain't here no more. Hence why I
Mm.
started with where things were. Because
Yeah.
our grandmother, we ain't gotta say great grand, our grandmother, I could say my mother, as I explained to Jen, I have elder parents. My father has transitioned, but he transitioned in his 80s. My mother's pushing 90, right? I saw my mother didn't work when I was younger. She was a stay-at-home mom. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I saw. I saw her not just about believing a man, I saw her following the man that was leading. And so I
Mm.
end by saying that the character of women have changed, in my opinion, because of the character of men. What do you feel about that?
Yeah. And I think like one of the things you touch base on too is like I think for our generation of men, and it's sad, we don't have we don't have no role models. We don't as men we don't learn about like all the great things that rest in power that Nipsey Hussle was doing. You know, we didn't hear about or learn about Nipsey until he died on
Mm-hmm.
the East Coast. We didn't hear about a lot of people that was doing these great things. We don't hear about them. We don't have no Malcolm X's. We don't have no Martin Luther Kings. We don't have until they die. You know what I'm saying? Then it's, oh, did you know that such and such was doing all these great things? Nobody told us. So the men of this generation, we don't have no real. Our celebrities sell us out every chance they get. We'll say that they're doing all that, and then they turn coat and sell us out. So we don't have that image of God. You know what I'm saying? If we go back to good times, painted the picture of Jesus, and they was like Ned the Wino, that
Yeah, I
image or
remember
that
the
picture
episode.
that looks like us. You know what I'm saying? We
Mm-hmm.
don't have that, you know, anymore. Like, what do we see? We don't see our reflection that we can be somebody great. You know, there is nobody that we turn on the TV because everybody sells us out. you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's how do the man return to his rightful place, and not the women, because some of the women gonna say, well, y'all don't do what y'all supposed to, so we had to do this. Even and this is one that I get slack about all the time when we talk about the women preachers. You
Mm-hmm.
know, biblically, it's not right and exact. But then they'll say, well, God said he teach. Yeah, he said he would use anybody to spread the word if need be. But at the same time, just because doesn't make it right and exact that the
Yeah,
woman is doing this or doing that, doesn't make it right and exact that we have not been back to our thronehood. Let's say, even like,
Mm-hmm.
and another movie, like, I love Bud Touch on movies. One of my favorite movies is Black Panther for two reasons. I think I told you this before, Ms. April. For two reasons. One reason was I love the dialogue of how our tongue used to be. I love Jamaican talk. I love all the African. I love that. But also, he had a women army. And what she said, what the top soldier said, my loyalty is to the throne. Like, whoever sits there, my loyalty is to the throne.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't have loyalty to the throne no more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna ask this, Gene.
uh,
Hit the volume. Turn your volume down, Gene, a little bit.
Uh,
I feel like a little bit static comes in when you talk. Just press it down a little bit.
is
I'm gonna
that
let
better?
you come
um,
in step. I'm gonna let you come in, but
yeah,
can I say this? Because I feel like we got the same song as women. We singing the
uh,
same song. We don't have leaders. We don't have the Fannie Mae's. We don't have the Francis Quinn. We don't have that, and we do. We do. It's just
Mm,
so oversaturated right now. We can't see and hear them. Because what
mm,
we at one point, as you mentioned, Black Panther, meaning the party I'm referencing, is that
mm,
it wasn't entertainment for us
mm,
then. It was real movement, right? What
mm,
was said, what they said, how they moved, things they implemented was they took it to heart. It wasn't just
mm,
something to just clap about and hit like. You know what I'm saying? Like we have it, but I think it's all so commercialized, if if that's fair to say. And I think it's so oversaturated with so many people think they have a voice and a perspective that I don't think none of us know who to listen to anymore. Right? And the
mm,
ones that are actually doing the work, they're not as attractive and appealing to us. They're just
mm,
entertaining us. You know what I'm saying? So
mm,
we actually had. I'm gonna end by saying this: that we actually had way more representation in leaders now
yeah,
than ever. It's just
and
oversaturated right now.
and let's be honest, like how you said, it's so oversaturated that we can't hear. Now the word said, "Let them who have ears hear." They hear. Some people don't want to hear. And to
Mm-hmm.
go back, I disagree a little bit, like you were saying. Women behavior have changed because man behavior. I don't think that. I think Satan has always had his plan,
Mm-hmm.
and the woman since the beginning, they tell that Eve story for a reason. It's messaging in it. She always have been influenced by this world,
Mm-hmm.
but God gave man a direct order. Man got to realize that women were created for men. That's just the reality of
Mm-hmm.
what I believe. Women were created, and the more and more I view it, I really believe women was created to challenge man
Mm-hmm.
without discipline
Totally
and
agree.
our morality. I believe it's in a woman's nature to have the good and evil. Of course, we all got it, but I think I think man fell from grace because we was influenced by it, where I feel as though woman was created. I believe there's certain things in y'all nature that if we ain't right, y'all soul could be on the line. If man ain't right, we almost putting women, we see it right now with our women. Our women is out of control, not because the caliber of man, because it's really the same fight, but it was like
Mm-hmm.
all this influence. They just got more influence. The same way they use an apple, whatever the apple represented back then, they got a whole bunch of apples now. It's the same game that Satan been doing, and he's used the woman to influence us in a negative way. That's Satan's job.
Mm-hmm.
But man have allowed it with our lack of discipline.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Man is out here condoning the fake ass. Man is out here condoning the bad behavior because it's man that be funding it.
Yeah.
People complain about the lyrics with some of the new rap stuff we hearing from it be a male ghostwriter.
Mm-hmm.
We're partaking in it. And I believe because of that, a woman with no true man guidance out here, you got to think, man, Satan plan it's worked up until this point.
Mm-hmm.
It really has. Like, he got us against each other.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't trick women. Women are operating out in this world right now as if the man's supposed to cater to the woman.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't created for that.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all was
Exactly.
truly created to be our helpmate. But
Mm-hmm.
we didn't got so far from our path, we don't even know what we need help with no more. It's that messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman has fallen deeper and deeper into rebellion. That's why she dressed the way she dressed in these times. And that's why the woman has resentment towards the man because in her subconscious, she knows she in her.
Mm-hmm. That's
But
good.
man not being man enough to correct them. How many times we hear women dialogue and they say silly stuff like, yeah, sometimes I just be messing with them and how they get turned on by being put in their place.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes men, we logical, we hear that and get irritated by it, but the reality is it's in the woman's nature. You know what I'm saying? It's in her nature to be guided by man. Her rebellion is a reflection of not the change up of men, but like I'm gonna use what you said, the fall.
Mm-hmm.
The fall. Because I think our aim is really still the same. We still logical.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't partake in none of this. A man not buying the $1 million watch if he don't have to, if the prettiest of woman is going to choose him regardless. We're not doing it. Warren Buffett don't have. Floyd Mayweather, I remember he bought the $18 million watch, which is foolery. You owe taxes and you got an 18 million. That's the brainwash of our community. We fallen that low.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You will never see Bill Gates talking about, I got the 18 million, because they already are in tune with their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to attract a woman that's going to find out, how can I help Bill Gates?
Right.
Where our women have been tricked. Our women is not even thinking about that no more. They done made our women because a lot of this stuff is systematic. Of course, we talking more on our nature because it starts with self and man in the mirror.
Right.
But we ain't going to forget that beautiful, marvelous, wicked plan that Satan and the powers that be put into place. When we
Mm-hmm.
talk about the women from back in the day and how she took care of the household and they were able to have the 24 kids and this and that, there was a certain structure. Our women didn't even have certain freedom to be in this world like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the government knew, oh man, not to say our women didn't desire it, but they knew
Right.
they place.
Or deserve it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Once they gave that access and freedom to the woman and convinced the woman that the man is not needed, we've been in trouble ever since.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way we can get it back is if man finally say we not dealing with y'all no more and say y'all get the women gonna keep doing it because it's a simp somewhere that's gonna allow it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Women know, man, if great men just said we're not dealing with y'all truthfully, we ain't even entertaining it. Women to get their act together. But we can't. It's men lying, it's men cheating, it's men being deceitful. And the real ones that ain't going for that, we the ones that really gotta go through the pain for real because we really desire to have the partner,
Mm-hmm.
but we dealing with hell out here right now
Right. Mm-hmm.
because of what's been allowed. Nowadays, women don't even know how to recognize the real man. She doesn't even
Mm-hmm.
have enough wisdom to recognize it now.
Mm-hmm. Someone in the comments says, oh, this Bishop Calvin, he says, when a man is out of alignment with God, the family will be out of alignment. I think we touched on that a little earlier, right? The woman's behavior will run rapid until the godly man steps into his place, right? I think we kind of touched on that too. And the fact about it is culture too, right? You touched on that first, that culturally we see what things are, but then systematically we see what things are too, right? And so it's like, I think it makes it almost like a catch-22, right? We got to deal with things systematically, and then we got to deal with things culturally. What you got, Jane?
One of the things the story we talked about where you touched on was Adam and Eve.
Mm-hmm.
That story used to I had a real lack of understanding biblically about that story for many years of my life, from reading the Bible and stuff. It wasn't until one day I read the Quran and I read the story of Adam and Eve in the Quran. Because I was trying to understand how did Adam, quote unquote, the fall of man happen, and according to the Bible, it says like Adam was over there doing something, and Eve was over at the tree, and Satan talked to
Mm-hmm.
her. And I'm like, well, how did he get punished? You know what I'm saying? Because he was away doing work. Now, if we look at that times, it would have never happened like that. And the Quran explains it that it didn't happen that way.
Okay.
What the Holy Quran says is that the reason why Adam or the fall of man happened is because when Satan was talking to Eve, Adam was standing right there and he didn't open his mouth.
Hmm.
So that right there gave me a better understanding because I was like, yo, how's my father gonna punish me if my sister's doing something
Hmm.
in another room and I'm not around? How do I get punished? Even if I was supposed to be watching her, yeah. So when we say about like when he said like we got punished because we don't open our mouths. Things happen because man has not been man enough to say, hey, sis, this is not right, or that is not right. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We have fallen from grace of our leadership of who we should be. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why we get condemned for the things that we do, or like he said, the way that the sisters act, or things of that nature. Like if we don't tell these young queens or these young sisters or these young brothers who they are, we go so far from saying who we are because we don't want to accept no, we don't want to like hurt anybody or offend anybody by
Or
saying,
lose
hey,
anybody.
yeah, yeah, you're this, you're a queen, or you should do this, or you should talk this way. We don't want to do that. So when we hold back on being who we are, telling people who they are, that's when, like, if you see somebody, like say, pull as I climb. If you see somebody out of pocket doing something, say something to them. And
Mm-hmm.
we've gotten so fearful of hurting people with the truth that we just shut up and let stuff go on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like he said, like the bishop said, he said, the father man, basically like, how do if you're teaching me, if you're not teaching me Psalms 82, when the Bible says, "Did I not say that ye are gods, but you should die like men?" If you're not telling me who I am and giving me a crown so that I can teach other people, and you're just telling me to wait for something else, how will we ever rise back to the top? You know, again, it goes back to like the brother said, like leadership. What you gotta say, stuff?
Nah,
You was about
like
to
to
say stuff.
add, oh yeah,
Yeah,
like
you.
to add what you said with Adam or the Quran, like they speak on Allah give wisdom to whom He please. So I'd be thinking some things be even deep, like when they speak on Eve caused Adam to slip, meaning like they gonna say apple, but apple could mean this world. Like how
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just said, not speaking
More
up.
metaphorical. Yeah, with some, yeah,
Yeah, indulging
metaphor.
into worldly things. Sometimes the influence, we can indulge in worldly things and cause us to slip. What
Mm-hmm.
the person said in the comments, to not be in alignment. And God gave man a direct order. So no matter how far Eve been slipped in the world, it wasn't supposed to have that influence over us to slip into the world. Just like how you just said earlier, bro, when you were saying the man did this for the woman and do this. All that type of stuff be worldly sometimes.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And we see what the results really are. If we
Mm-hmm.
ain't willing to really, the real conversation really supposed to be the most high need to be at the center, period.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We more so talking about the dog and the big house and the picket fence
Yeah.
before we even talking about true spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
And we still falling, we still falling for the apple
Yeah.
today.
That's it right there. Yeah. I was
We
about to
know the
chime in and say
apple,
that very thing.
we know the apple ain't good. You see it with entertainers today, look how a lot of the athletes, a lot of these young rich brothers with no real, besides playing ball, a lot of them don't be disciplined outside of the ball. Look how a lot of them be falling victim to the same caliber of woman, the
Mm-hmm.
same Jezebel spirit, repeatedly and repeatedly. You think they don't have the understanding of what they dealing with? They do. It's
Mm-hmm.
the one team. It's the one team. They gotta have the one with the big, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They gotta have the one that got the foreign look.
Mm-hmm.
Those one teams, those that's the same apple. They slipping into it.
Mm-hmm.
We see it. Look what happened to OJ was a prime example. Before OJ got caught up, man, white America used to love OJ. I remember OJ had the movie Cocaine and Blue Eyes. I remember. And he fell so far into it, he had to really see OJ seen firsthand the Satan he was dealing with.
That part.
Mm-hmm.
He had to
He
find out
chose her.
who.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Puff Daddy is fine. And I'm not saying these people haven't done things. They have. They indulge with Satan. That's why we see when I look at the stories like Puff and the R. Kellys, I view them people falling from grace because even in their wickedness, they were influential, even in the positive. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care what the media going to say about R. Kelly. R. Kelly has some music out here that didn't touch people's soul. And Satan made an example out of him. You know what I'm saying? Period. That's why they tell you the story of Jesus when he was being tempted. They tell you that story for a reason because we all deal with it. It ain't got to be on that dramatic level. Because forget R. Kelly. What's the difference? Puff. Okay, they locked him up. He's watching the porn in person. He's watching the girlfriend do it in person. What's the difference? I'm
Still
talking to me
indulgent.
now. I didn't look at porn in my life. What's the difference? If
Mm-hmm.
the world had a secret camera on me for the times of my life when I was looking at porn, I would be canceled.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still being wicked.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still falling victim to that. I just was able to do it with nobody seeing me.
Mm-hmm.
Puff,
So in other words, it's still indulging in it. Just a
we're
different
battling
version,
with it
different.
every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
I'm speaking to the men of letting you know how serious the battle go. And unfortunately, the main weapon right now, the overall manhood, and it's just sad to say, our biggest challenge is the woman.
And that's why I wonder, and I think that it's all aligned itself in this whole discussion, even the beginning. And that's why I started off where I started off, because I want to go back to that story, right? And not to just spend too much time in it, but here's a reality. I've heard that scripture preached a million ways, right? Man was there. Man didn't speak up. How was he even able to talk to her? Where was the man? If the man was there, maybe he wouldn't have been able to say what he said. And so it was all, and no matter how I've heard it preached, it always went right back to the man. Where was the man? No one questioned what part of where was she for this encounter. It was where was he? It was where was he? It was whether it's Quran, whether it's the Bible, whether what I'm saying. It don't matter where it's preached, which manual script is coming from. Ultimately, it all goes back to where was the man?
Indulging.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think that the unfortunate and that we have no accountability or no role or no dog in this fight, because we do, as we covered earlier, right? Our persuasiveness and our ability to persuade. I want to ask you both: do you recall ever feeling, and this aligns with that story? Do you ever feel pressure of being a leader but didn't feel equipped to lead?
I had it in me as a kid. I knew I couldn't run from leadership. We ain't no such thing, because you still gotta fight the bully whether you want to or not. If he come push you, or I don't gotta fight. I'm gonna have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, whether you want to be the leader or you don't want to be the leader, you're gonna have to do something.
What about you?
I think too like our mothers at that time made us, especially like I don't like when something you said about the single mothers. I think this even the single mothers was stronger at that time. They had told us we were the man of the house. So like for me, like my mom, she used to always just give me her own little parables. Like even like when I get off the school bus and dudes be like playing rough and like she was like, "Yo, you keep on that, you're gonna get to fighting with one of them." You know what I'm saying? It was like she was always telling me like we was latchkey kids, we was all those different things. So we was bred to be leaders, but I think somewhere the rug got snatched from up under us, and maybe it been incarceration. If you lock us up, lock so many of us up, and start taking the leadership role from us, and then who has to take care of us? Whether it's the girl that's coming to see you, whether it's your sisters, like they became the leaders and been forced into the leadership roles. So now that you all have been forced into the leadership roles, y'all don't want to give up the role.
Hmm.
And we are not equipped emotionally, we don't have the mental capacity
Hmm.
from incarceration or things like that to really take over the leadership roles,
Hmm.
because our conditions that have taken it away from us to be leaders, you
Uh-oh.
know, it's been taken away from us.
Mm-hmm.
So now when it got taken away from us, the leadership role got taken away from us, we don't know how to reclaim it. To be
Mm-hmm.
totally honest, a lot of us don't know how to reclaim being a leader,
Mm-hmm.
because y'all been forced into this and now y'all don't want to give it up. It's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you made me team captain. I don't want to give that up. I like how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And now you feel like, well, this is just my place now. Because the man ain't I don't need a man. Like they say, I don't need a man for nothing. I'm doing this all by myself. Because you ain't gonna let nobody else do it for you. Because then you would say, well, can't nobody lead me. So it's we were there and we don't know how to climb back up to the top.
Mm-hmm. Rightfully gain your position, regain
Hmm.
your rightful place. And I asked that question to the very point in which you shared, Jane, was how, and you said it earlier, Step, that, and I think this is a few generations back. I don't even think this is about our generation, where unfortunately most of the men were raised by women, and
Hmm.
because they were the only male home, they had to be
Mm-hmm.
the man, which
Mm-hmm.
also made them force them into a leadership position as a child, right? And that's why
Mm-hmm.
I asked that question, because a lot of men have had that experience. That they were improperly, right, uh, uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, prematurely, right, put in a position of leadership as a child. And so when some men have that experience, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think a lot of times it can be more of a hiccup for them later on down the line in terms
Mm-hmm.
of leadership, because they then think leadership means whatever, look after the little sister when mommy got to work. They believe,
Mm-hmm.
leadership means, clean out the bathtub. And that's not a form of leadership, right? But I think it's a heavier crown for that a man will wear when he evolves into a certain space in his life where now he's been ordained to lead. Whether you have
And then
leadership
we.
abilities as a child or not, we're talking about that journey. We're talking about that mission we talked about earlier, right? When you have
Mm-hmm.
that mission, you know what your rightful place is and what you're here to fulfill and accomplish, right? When you've had to grow up and be the leader at 8 years old and at 12 years old with no other figure of a male, as you mentioned earlier, Jay, no other representation that you can touch and feel and hear, you just grow up thinking what a leader is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that could also tip the crown of a man once he evolves, because he was already prematurely put in a place to be a leader when he was not even equipped or prepared. It was like, look, mommy got to work, watch your sister, and you
Mm-hmm.
automatically are in that role. You understand what I'm saying? This is not to justify; it's just a reality to consider when you see an older man, and I don't mean older in age, but older in the lack of wisdom thereof, why the crown is tilted, because he has a misunderstanding of what he was miseducated on what leadership really was, right? And so then that leads me to a question where I want to ask: so do you think possibly a struggle with manhood could be? Is it about survival or leadership? You know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of feel like y'all are kind of stuck in a trick bag where you gotta survive, but then you also gotta be a leader. And I think sometimes y'all choose a side, maybe. What
Mm-hmm.
do you think?
I think discipline.
Hmm.
Um,
The lack of, you mean?
yeah, the lack of discipline. I think that's the main thing. Because every assignment isn't going to always require leadership. Sometimes to get the overall thing accomplished, I might have to be led. And in being led, I know what bricks to lay. And I was still able to be a part of the building. So I think it's just discipline. We lack discipline. Leadership,
Because a good leader has to be led, is what I'm hearing.
yeah, all the time. And like the brother said earlier, we don't have many people that have the manual to give us into being great leaders, because it's a lot of factors. They just killed a lot of them, discouraged a lot of them. Um, the powers that be can position people that ain't really true leaders, but gave them status, because our people in these times, um, they'll choose somebody with status over a leader any day.
Hmm. Hmm.
They view status as a form of leadership. They've been hoodwinked and confused.
Hmm.
That's why a lot of women choose the one with status, because they didn't. That same thing. We go back to that Adam and Eve. Like you said, it's a lot of.
Hmm.
To me, all the details of what really happened is it don't really matter. The main
Irrelevant.
messaging in it was disobedience,
Hmm.
lack of discipline. That's it. The apple could represent anything. He said the tree of
Hmm.
life, he gave a direct order. You are not to do something. We could take it how we want. I believe that story wasn't about a specific literal. It was just about obedience.
Hmm.
And if man don't really make a conscious choice to really get in line with the Most High, whatever that means, we done. We could make it. We could come up with the sociology. Is it because of this? Is it because of that? We got to get with the Most High, because some people's journey is not even going to require a woman at all. It's getting that sticky right now. Some of the journey, some women not even in it.
Hmm.
Some people on the front line. Whatever has to be done in pursuit of true righteousness is what we should really be, as a man, really have our mind on.
Hmm.
We can't accomplish it because we're trying to play a game that's rigged against us, because we didn't feel so far down there. We're trying to please ourselves.
Hmm.
We're not even sacrificing anymore.
Yeah. What do you think, Jane? You think men stuck in
Two,
survival mode and are
um,
unable to
two,
lead?
two things. One part, like he said, touched on a little bit, was fear. Men are fearful of being leaders because they're fearful of being responsible. The other thing is also that though scientifically, whether it's right or wrong, we started hearing that the woman matures faster than a man, and all of these things that was started being impeded and dealt to us in the 80s and all this stuff in the 70s, like, oh, the woman matures faster. A man is not growing until he's 21. A woman is growing when she's 18. So we were setting the stage for us to play a back role. So a lot of, like you say,
Hmm.
it's fear and not knowing. Okay, if I do step up and be a leader, I'm gonna get I'm gonna get taken down. I'm gonna be taken out. You
Hmm.
know, or I'm gonna be
Or get
looked
abandoned
at.
or be abandoned.
Yeah, I'm gonna get looked at as like a lot of meetings I go to and deal with things with it. I'm very passionate about dealing with the kids. You know, you're not gonna tell me anything, and I'm not no dumb brother. So you're not just gonna. I'm not gonna be in a meeting and just, oh, yes sir, boss. I'm not gonna do that. So if you want that, that's not gonna happen. But in turn, that makes me they say I'm aggressive. You
Hmm.
know, say, oh, he's an aggressive black man. Only, but the crazy part is that the other people see me and know who I am. But it's our people who will beat us down first for coming and talking in a certain mannerism.
Hmm.
So we're afraid to really be leaders now because of the fact that we're gonna get beat. We're gonna get beat by our own people.
Hmm.
Our own people have the water hoses now.
Hmm.
So I think that has a lot to do with that fear factor of it. Of, okay, if I speak out, I'm gonna get looked at this way, or if I move this way, that's why I think that's the biggest thing. Is a big thing of fear of becoming who you're supposed to be.
Hmm.
Heavy is the head.
Yeah.
Mm.
So let me ask you guys this. Do you feel that because we as women possibly don't understand um, the pressures that you guys really carry, do you think our lack of understanding of that it becomes a lack of support because we don't
Facts.
understand everything that y'all carry? I think sometimes we
Yeah.
feel like we do, especially we're in relationship with you guys. We
Mm-hmm.
feel like we do understand how much y'all carrying, but I think it's really something hard for us to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I guess the question would be, could that contribute to something that of a distraction for y'all because we just can't seem to understand all the pressures that y'all carry? If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Some of the things that y'all go through, we would never understand. But a lot of the things that the male species, the black male species, or men in general go through, like that, we're not supposed to feel this way or this or that. A lot of things that gets swept under the rug. Like we gotta keep fighting. We gotta keep going. We don't have time to pout. You know what I'm saying? And not that we want to, but we sometimes sometimes we just want a hug. Uh, one minute you can tell me that as a man, baby, you come in and cry on my shoulder, but then as soon as he do it, now he's soft.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you standing in that in between place. If I do it, how are you gonna look at me after? I
Mm-hmm.
say, you know, what I mean? And the brother can say if he feeling right or wrong, but like, yeah, I think it's that in between.
Yeah, but we got to get to a point as men where we don't care anymore. We got to really be true to ourselves. And I think I love hip hop. I think that's why a lot of people connected with the late great DMX
Mm,
because DMX was so truthful. He let you see the evil in him. He
mm,
let you see the times where he was vulnerable. He
Mm-hmm.
let you see the emotions where he cried. That's a man to me. He didn't
Thank
hide
mm,
any sides of him. And if you think of how he was received, people didn't look at X like, oh, he being soft. People kind
Exactly.
of embraced it.
Grace, very much so,
They
and
embraced
respected.
it with being
Respect.
truthful.
mm.
Another person, I've always been intrigued with Mike Tyson. It's only one Mike Tyson, whether you agree with Mike or not, because Mike got moments, but Mike had enough heart to be Mike Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
They
No
couldn't
doubt.
control, and even though Mike wasn't, he was political by default. They was afraid of Mike because he was that truthful. He was willing to be on the mic and be a savage, whether it was good or bad. It was an emotion that was him. He
Mm-hmm.
was displaying what a lot of us feel. He had enough heart to do it. And some of the things he expressed wasn't always good,
Mm-hmm.
but I felt that way before. He had enough heart to do it with the world watching. I'm just talking about some of the things. I'm just specifically talking about Mike Tyson. But I view them people as men, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know where their fate. I don't know if Mike Tyson gonna make it to heaven, you know, but I know you gotta have some type of courageous soul
Mm-hmm.
to be vulnerable enough to put your flaws on display. Everybody trying to come up with the best mask. It never worked. Nobody have received true happiness from putting on the best mask. That's why in wrestling, it started to be Stone Cold character was so popular because at that time in wrestling, wrestling is a good man. Them characters that Vince was coming up with was representing characteristics of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Stone Cold said it was safer to be a heel. And the fans end up loving him for being a heel because it was too much pressure being the hero. Why you think Hulk Hogan turned into Hollywood Hogan?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't feel the appreciate. I know I'm talking about wrestling, but that's a big moment when he did the turn because Hulkamania was everybody like him. Eat your vitamins, do the right thing, the American dream. So when he turned to Hollywood Hogan, it was like betrayal. But if you go back to, if y'all ever look up when Hulk Hogan turned to Hollywood Hogan, when he talking to the crowd, when they throwing stuff, he talked about how the people stopped believing in him.
Mm-hmm.
Hulkamania wasn't good enough for him anymore. All of it was BS anyway because Hollywood Hogan was what was in him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It was who he was.
He was who he was. Yeah.
He was beating himself up trying to be Hulk Hogan. It was safer for him to just be who he was.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And even Hollywood Hogan, through time, the fans end up loving him because a lot of people got Hollywood in them. The Hollywood, a lot of us got that in us.
Mm-hmm.
My father used to teach me a lot from the mistakes he made.
Mm.
He'd talk about the world and then he'd talk about what he did. And when he'd do that, I get the message clear. because he was simply just talking about truth. How many of us is willing to be truthful? Not a lot of us. Really, a lot. Jesus might be the only one that they really talk about that I don't have enough. A lot of people in my circle think I'm great. I know I don't have enough heart the way Jesus had.
To endure. Yeah.
He was willing to die for it, literally.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Martin
it's funny
Luther
you say all
King.
that because because what I'm hearing is I'm kind of still hearing the fear that y'all touched on, right? But more importantly, I'm hearing this whole idea of what people feel about y'all. You know, it just seems it matters. It seems like it matters too much to the man.
Yeah.
How someone feels, whether they believe, who's been supportive, who got my back, you know. And that's kind of where the question about that kind of gave me this whole idea of that crown that's tilted, right? The question pertaining to, is it survival mode or leadership? Because not to say it was the answer I'm looking for, but most real men thrive in leadership in survival mode. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how they learn. That's where they really sharpening their tools, is in
Yeah.
survival mode in a sense, right? Go ahead. What are you gonna say? Go
No,
ahead.
I was just saying how my man just said he did 18 years in prison.
Yeah.
I done some time, but not that much time. But I know he agreed in those situations, you learn decision making.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Something that most men would never know. They never set foot in jail, right?
And you got to make decisions that you, some scenarios in that predicament, you don't even, like out here, in some scenarios, I have a little freedom to not even put myself in. In that scenario, some decisions, he has to make one. You got to make one.
Period. Mm-hmm.
His survival depends on it.
Mm-hmm. And to me, that kind of coincides. What I was going to say is that I feel like another part of the man's fall is also because I feel like men make a lot of excuses. Well, I had to do 20 years, and I lost my dad, and then I got divorced, and as if these things are situations that gives you a right to no longer be a man, right? I feel like there's a lot of excuses, and men care too much about society, not even just mommy or auntie or girlfriend or wife. Y'all care too much about society, right? It goes back to the metaphor of the story, right? It doesn't really matter, like you said, it doesn't really matter how you want to unravel and what the apple really represented. The bottom line is that man failed, and what is man going to do to get back in his rightful place to some degree, right? And so when you look at it from that trajectory and you think about where we are today as men, and we can say, oh, it's because of this, it's because of that. But I love how, Steph always put the accountability on men, that you guys really got to put more attention on, and correct me if I'm wrong, of the fact that there's too much consideration of what others think, what others feel, what others are, what others expect, right? What things are now versus what things were, as opposed to just being the man that you are in a position to be. Steph can't be you, Gene. He didn't do the 18 years to be you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Gene? You can't be Steph. You have never walked in the shoes of the path that Steph had to walk in. So it's almost like this constant, and I think that's what you're explaining with Hawk, this constant battle with self, of comparisons, and you know what I'm saying, the ideas that have nothing to do with your mission. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with what is ordained for you to do and fulfill on this earth, and they become enormous distractions. Right? They become these massive distractions that makes it hard for you guys to just stick to your guns and what you're here to do. You know what I'm saying? Because from where I'm sitting, and I can talk about men in my family or just men that are friends of my husband or just people that I just know in passing, it's so much comparison and so much consideration of other people, not even just other men. It ain't even that y'all just comparing yourself to men. Y'all comparing yourself to women and white men and little girls and gay boys. And it's like y'all comparing yourself to all these individuals that's not going to add to you. It's not going to strengthen you. It's not going to enlighten you. It's not going to give you more courage. It's just going to be simply a distraction, and it's going to keep y'all off course. So I want to ask this, and I think we kind of did touch on it, but masculinity is under attack. You both agree, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, would you not agree with the idea that even everything I just described is a very masculine way of living? You know what I'm saying? With the comparisons of who believes and who supports and who likes me and who, like, I feel like that's a
Yeah,
very feminine.
yeah.
I mean, correct. I'm not trying to be insensitive, but I just feel like it's
I
more
ain't gonna say it's a feminine thing. We
okay.
human. We
True.
still got a soul. We still got feelings. It's natural. Everybody want to be appreciated. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? We all going to
Mm-hmm.
feel sadness.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want
We
to use
all
the word.
compare. We all do those things as human. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want us to. I definitely don't believe it's a feminine trait, but it's just something that we have to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's nothing wrong. We can't dwell in it. We can't sit in it. But
And I think y'all are though, right? It's like that's the
and
argument, right?
that's the problem. But I
Yeah.
still don't want like message to the men. You know, like the OJs. Who am I to think a man should never? We supposed to. Sometimes we gotta
Right.
let it out. But like you just said, we can't sit in it. We can't dwell in it, and we can't seek validation outside of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we fall victim. We gotta trust that the people that recognize our greatness for who we are and what we do is going to be the ones that don't acknowledge it. It's not for them,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to accept that and keep it moving, which is not easy to do because some people are married to people that don't recognize the greatness. When I looked at the Ali movie, when Will Smith played Ali, if people remember when in the movie he was getting ready to fight Big George Foreman, and everybody that know at that time George Foreman was a killer, and the two people that Ali struggled in the ring with, Foreman beat him up easily. He beat Joe Frazier easy. He beat Ken Norton easy, and Ali was getting older at the time. And the people that really loved Ali didn't want to see him take that fight because they thought he was going to have
Mm-hmm.
punishment. And the movie showed something. I don't know how it went in real life, but the movie tried to show something when he was married to his Muslim wife. It showed how she was arguing with him because she was feeling like Adrian. She didn't want Ali to get beat up. And she said, "Do they care if you get killed?" And Ali looked at her and he was disappointed because he viewed her like, "We believe in the most high Allah. You doubting now?" He almost looked at his wife as if she didn't really understand the greatness in him.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. She
That,
forgot who
that's
he was.
that's how they displayed it in the movie,
Mm-hmm.
and they were showing you the transition to how he got with Layla Ali's mother.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
in the movie, he was venting to the reporter
Right.
at the time. She
Mm-hmm.
wasn't his wife at the time, and he was talking about all the pressure. He feel Ali felt pressure to win because he got so many people employed. He got the race of people. Even if he take a whooping, he feels like he can't quit because the people believe in him. And he said, out of all this pressure, I still gotta go fight George. And he had asked her, "Do you think I'm gonna win?"
Mm-hmm. I remember that. Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Ali Boumaye." That's another example of how we need that
Look, that's when
belief.
he knew she was the one.
We need that belief.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's in our nature. So sometimes we gonna have low moments and we just can't stay there. We gotta find a way to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
My man got out of the 18 years. I
Yeah.
did a year stretch two different times in the 365 days. When you at the beginning of the bid, it almost feel like it might be impossible to reach a year because it's just so slow. Everything is detailed. You don't have as many distractions to take your mind off of time. That's some hard mental thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people kill themselves if they had to go do 18 years. When people look at Ruben Hurricane movie that Denzel played, man, they better go look at that movie carefully. He had a sharp mental. God made him a boxer for another reason. He had to take that and use them same skills in jail. That's why they showed, and then I'm done talking. That's why in the movie, The Hurricane, Denzel, a great actor. If you ever see the scene in the movie where they threw Denzel in the hole, and when they threw him in the hole, he was pumping himself up like it was another middleweight fight.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, I done been here before. I'm the former middleweight champ of the world," and he was pumping himself up for another battle. It get that mental out here with life. And the same way, he said he got the boxing gym, so he know if he studied boxing, it's great boxers that quit in the ring. It's great boxers that said no more. And it's also some great boxers that took a whooping before they gave up. They risked their health before they said, "I quit." Sugar Ray Leonard took a whooping from Terry Norris. He shouldn't have been in the ring, but Sugar Ray, or who he was, he said, "Man, I could end this fight now and hurt the people that really believe in him." We was hurt by looking at the whooping, but who he is, the messaging would have been wrong. Even if you getting beat by Terry Norris, you can't quit.
But I think you touched on that Hurricane movie really clarified a lot that was mentioned. And I'm gonna let you, I ain't gonna say too much, Jim. I'm gonna let you jump in. I really think, especially that part of him getting put in the hole. I don't know if you've seen that movie before, Jane, but please go watch it if you haven't. Because that part right there, I think that's what we've all been trying to say, just different ways. You gotta be who you are, no matter what the circumstances are, no matter what the situation's like, whether you had no fans, no supporters, no believers. You gotta be, as a man, you gotta be able to pump yourself up. You gotta be able to use whatever craft and abilities you have, whatever God-given talents you have, and you gotta use it to keep your shoulders up and your back straight, you know what I'm saying, your mind right, and stay the course. And I think that is what is happening or has happened to men. That mental toughness is not there. You know what I'm saying? It's like you get out of the situation you were comfortable into another one, then you don't feel like you want to survive it. When what he did was say, "Okay, this is another fight." You know what I'm saying? This is another song. You know what I'm saying? This is another client. But you got to have the mental toughness, be able to stay in the pocket, right, with what you're great at, and use that regardless of what situation you face. So what you got to say about that part, Jen? I don't know if you remember the question. What was it? Or just go ahead and just speak from your heart and what you heard.
So, yeah, like you said about the movie, and you know my situation, you know my story because you did an interview with me. But that was the thing for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you back in our first interview, the people came to me with a plea bargain for 3 years. You know, for murder one that I knew that I didn't commit. You know, it's 3 years. You do 3 years, you're 17, you're gonna go home by the time you turn 21. And I had to be that person who said, like, no, I'm not taking a plea bargain for something I didn't do. And knowing that these people were talking about giving me the death penalty, knowing that these people was talking about life in prison, knowing that these people said, "Hey, you're gonna get 50 years, you know, with 25 suspended," and I had to still buckle down and stand on my truth, knowing that I didn't do the crime. Whatever y'all are gonna do to me, like you say, like Hurricane, you throw me in there, I'm gonna fight. You know, I just wrote my third book. I don't know if we had our interview, did I have my other book? I just had my third book, Shock Mindset, Warrior Spirit. You know, and that was it. Sharks don't swim backwards. And sometimes we do need, like you the question, like, have we gotten conditioned to needing somebody? We do need And I think that's what the wisdom is. That's what the black woman. That's what the woman is. Sometimes we need that shock. We need those electrical pads on us from the woman or from people that when the man wants to give up, like just give me a shock treatment. Just make my heart start pumping again so I can finish the
Mm-hmm.
fight. You know,
Good.
but
That's good.
there's nobody who grabs the pads for us. We don't have no EMTs on site.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So we gotta hope that we got a defibrillator in us that shocks us back to life when we going through. You know what I'm saying? We gotta hope that the higher power hits that button, sees that our heart is about to skip a beat, and shocks us back into you ain't finished your goal yet. You ain't finished your purpose yet. You know, because we're going back to way back when the first started the statement. Way back, our elders, our grandfathers, and they had that woman
Yeah.
who had to defend, who, gee, okay,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? All right,
That backbone.
go, yeah, go on, get back in there. You know what I'm saying? But now, where is that for us? And
But
when
that's
we
why
say
that
we require that, now, again, now we looked up as being weak.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to hope
mm,
that outside of the system, that the higher power just because he said, if you go back to the lessons, he said, man was not meant to be alone. That's why he
Yeah.
gave us a helpmate.
Yeah.
You know, and now that she don't want to be our helpmate because she's too busy helping herself.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
She's too busy
yeah,
helping herself, so she don't want to help us because now it's independently. I don't need him, but not knowing that you're secondary but most necessary. We need you. We need that. Shock me. Say, hey, like I tell, I was talking to my brother today. One of my brothers that I just the power just gave told me to reach out to him, and I just sent him a voice message and told him like, yo, I'm proud of you. I know the fight. He called me, and when he called me, and the things that he said, he was like, man, I don't know how you know I needed to hear that. I needed my battery recharged. I needed that pat on the back to say, you're doing a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we was doing bad stuff in the streets, oh,
Everybody
our
got something.
names was, yeah, you got, oh, man, they, oh, man, such and such did that, yeah, sound like such did. Give me that same energy when you see what I'm doing now. You know what I'm saying? When I go down for an 8 count, don't wait, don't throw the towel in on me yet. Let me count and let me get up. Les Brown said if you can look up, you can get up. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes we need that corner person in boxing. Yeah, we need that person in the corner say, all right, go ahead. Jab, jab, hook. But we don't got them corner people no more.
But
So
that's why
that's why.
that's why I said what I said earlier about the characteristics of a woman. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
I wasn't even really certain not to really say who's fault, who's to blame. It's just that's just
yeah,
where we are. Like you said earlier,
yeah.
we can blame why she this and he got it from her and the
Mm-hmm.
man calls the woman calls the man. Bottom line is the characteristics of a woman has changed just as drastic as you mentioned. It changed in a
Yeah,
man. You talking about what the men were when you went in versus when they came out. You know what I'm saying? The women that I'm the
yeah,
last of 9 children. The women that I knew from my eldest sibling to the women I know now are nothing the same. So we
yeah.
really,
yeah,
I wouldn't dare say we're in the same predicament because we are not as
Mm-hmm.
people, women and men. However, it's the same transitions, the same systematic approach. It's the same
Mm-hmm.
attack is going on to get
Mm-hmm.
us. We're just as out of alignment as the men are, which is
Yeah,
why you don't have the backbone,
yeah,
the rib, the supporter, the nurturer.
yeah,
You know, that's why y'all, that's why it's hard to even choose that woman
yeah.
set because it's hard. It ain't even enough in the borough
Of
for
course,
Gene to even
yeah.
say, okay, she the one. You
The
know,
yeah.
woman is
okay,
out of
but we
line,
there. Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
the man is out of position, and the woman is out of line.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the conversation I don't hear enough of. We even talk about how the
Mm-hmm.
women are supporting homosexualities and we're independent. We don't need a man, or we talk about the man who fell off and insecure. But we're not talking about the fact that there's a systematic system
Switch.
propaganda has been pushing for
Mm-hmm.
decades to get both of us out of alignment, to have us in a situation we are now, which is why it's hard for us to find an equally yoked partner, right? That's going to be in full support, cook the meal, do her and do you, understand the order of God. You know what I'm saying? Be there for the kids, be there for you, have the time to manage and do all of that. You know what I'm saying? With the initiation of giving us the right to vote, to now giving us the rights to, you know what I'm saying? All now they got smoking cigarettes. All that was propaganda to get us out of pocket. It wasn't just about tobacco. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just about the disease. It wasn't just about big pharma. It wasn't just about the man out there. It was trying to get both of us out of complete alignment. Well, both of our characters have changed drastically. We don't know what a real woman is. Men don't know what a real man is. You know what I'm saying? So we got women out here ain't women. We got men out here ain't men. And when we talk about the black family, it literally makes me want to cry. Because that is a real official state that we are in culturally. And it's almost like you got to cherry pick. You know what I'm saying? You just got to pray to God that you actually get that helpmate. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, see, it's empty. You hear what I'm saying? It's like, man, you putting the right bait on the hook and the wrong one's biting.
We in the last days, man.
Like literally in the last days. And so it's such an unfortunate situation. And that's kind of where I wanted to, and that's how I know it was all aligned and everything was said in great intentions and said for this appropriate time, because this is exactly where I wanted to kind of end off at. In a situation where at the end of the day, we are just as much as it. I'm not going to say it doesn't matter who's to blame, but at the end of the day, if the reality is that we're all out of whack and all out of alignment, what do we do? Because we are problem preachers. We're not problem solvers. You know what I'm saying? We talk about problems and issues and dysfunction till we blue in our faces, but there's never a real solution. You know what I'm saying? There's never real accountability. We just want to sit back, point the finger, and then we stay in the same state of mind, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. You know what I'm saying? And it goes on. And so it gets to a point, Steph and Jen, I feel like we're all, no, I ain't gonna say that. I'm so glad I ain't say that. I don't want to release that, but I feel like we're at a halt. You know, it's almost like, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like the tip burb is frost. We're frozen. You know, like we still in time. Like we just hamsters on wheels right now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to make major moves, real moves, because to your point, we're all naturally to want each other first and foremost. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying you here to be murdered. You here to have one wife. Forget all that. Reality is that we're here to desire one another, but we're also here to prosper with one another. You understand what I'm saying? And we want to be in support of one another. You know, we need financial support. We need emotional support. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, you know, and I think you touched on it, this whole idea of man not being able to cry. You touched on DMX, and we embrace him because of the very thing that society shuns on men. You know what I'm saying? Like DMX takes his shoulder, start screaming, women fall out. But let a man get teary-eyed on the live. Oh man, you crying because of that? That was 10 years ago. But he can cry for an hour and pray out loud, step on stage.
Because he had status.
You understand what I'm saying? Right?
He had status to go along with it.
You know, and so it's like, I think we just got to really start seeing things for what it's worth in terms of just focus on the reality of where we are as people, women and man, and what we can do, because I think we're in an age where it's each one reach one. The big man sitting at the podium on top of the hills, that's done. It ain't no one man, you know what I'm saying, at the monument talking to a million people. Now there's 500 of them. We just got to figure out which one to align with. Maybe you the one, but you don't think you the one because you ain't got 50,000 followers. You understand? Maybe I'm the one, but I don't think I'm the one because I ain't got 200 followers. You understand? So it's like, I think we just we got to just we're scratching the surface, and we got to get under the veil and realize, and not just the propaganda effect, but just the simple basis of reality of where we are culturally. And right now, women are struggling with femininity, you know what I'm saying? With our rightful place where we are spiritually. They say it's the most ungodly time ever in history, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot that's going on. And I think that if each of us try to reach those within our, and that's kind of why I just put so much attention and effort, and my husband in full support of this platform, because it's important. You know what I'm saying? To talk about not just this and that, but all of it. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't gonna happen overnight. You know, this live ain't gonna change the world. But if it can just shift a few people perspective, you know what I'm saying, to get us back. Okay, yeah, be CEO, but still understand what you here to. You know what I'm saying? Like reproduce. We're supposed to be subduing the earth, and we ain't doing that. This is the time where they say we're gonna have the lowest IQ rate. This is the most ungodly time. The most time in history where people aren't married, don't tend to be married. Women don't want to have kids. Men don't want wives. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like the end of time is an understatement.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's almost like from a humane perspective, we all have fallen. And not just short of the glory, but we all have fallen so far off. So I want to end just by a few finishing questions, unless one of y'all want to add to that before I get into this. You sure? Okay. So I'm gonna start a few sentences, and I want y'all to kind of fill them in. Okay. The homosexual agenda was intended for
To destroy masculinity.
Facts. I agree.
To end reproduction.
I agree.
Keep going. There's a few of them, right?
Yeah.
To strip us of our purpose.
Women are in full support of homosexuality more than men because. And if you disagree, please feel free to.
It allows them to be in control.
It allows them to continue to not take accountability and be corrected because they attend to women. They show more love to that type of man more than the masculine man. The masculine man is always challenged. They combative towards the masculine man. They're real nurturing towards that type of man because that type of man they believe relates to them more because of the femininity.
The world see me as blank, but I really am blank.
I don't know how the world see me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Your circle.
Or the world see me as typical, but I'm really not. I'm special.
And see, the world was used because of the internet. You know what I'm saying? This is almost like we out there in the world, whether you got 2,000 followers or 200,000. So that's why I use the word world. But yeah.
That's what I think. I think the world view me as typical or normal, but I don't think I'm normal.
I think sometimes the world sees us as a threat when we're not a threat, we're an asset.
That's good. That's good. The hardest part about being a black man is
You got to be willing to go through this journey alone with no support.
Facts. Knowing that you can't take everybody with you. That everybody's not gonna knowing that everybody's not gonna be cheering for you.
And I said willing. A lot of us get blessed to have that support, but we still have to be willing to go whether we got it or not.
nobody understands that men blank.
Nobody understands that men are going through emotional trauma as well.
The men get depressed too. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel the most judged when.
I would say not when, but by. I feel the most judged by our own people.
Um, I feel the most judged when being expressive in general.
Mm.
Hmm. I withhold showing my emotions
Because the we withhold showing our emotions because of the fact that is looked as a chink in our armor or a sign of weakness
Yep, that's the main thing. It could be viewed as weakness.
and used against you later on.
Yeah. Or sometimes we withhold certain emotions in fear of being used, being taken
Mm.
advantage of emotions that's exposed.
Mhm. Or overlooked when you expose your emotions. It gets overlooked like, oh, you that's just adulting, or you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it gets overlooked.
hmm. I feel the most respected when.
Mm.
I feel most respected. Mm,
I think
that's a
for
good
that,
one.
I think for real, most respect is two parts. Is when you're around people. For me, I feel most respected when I'm around my peers that know me from the inside, or also when I'm around people that have a fear of me.
Hmm.
I
Because
feel most.
fear gives respect.
Mm, I feel most respected. I don't even know.
Well, let's flip it. You feel the most respected by a woman when. Because that's
Um,
mostly the answer we're really looking for anyway, for people to understand men and for women to kind of better understand men. So is there a time when you feel from a woman specifically when you feel the most respected when a woman.
I feel the most respected when a woman. I don't know.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
When do you
I
feel the
don't
most
know.
disrespected?
I feel the most disrespected in general, or
Mm-hmm.
when somebody don't value my time.
Mm. Yeah. Time or my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Or when a person don't appreciate anything I've done,
That
even if
yeah.
it was, even if I took out the time to give insight on something that a person might have been
Mm-hmm.
going through in their life, if that's not
Mm-hmm.
appreciated, it's disrespect to me because it's my
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to think on that. When you got to answer tonight's step, but you gotta DM me at some point. Like when you feel the most respect. You ain't gotta
Respected.
figure it out now. The most respected. We're gonna
Uh,
move on. We're
that's
gonna move
hard
on.
though.
I
When
want
do
you to.
I
I want you
feel
to sit with that.
respected?
I don't want you to force it. Sit with it. It's okay.
Cause I no no, cause it's like I just want to like I know I feel love.
Mm-hmm. Like some men feel the most disrespected when the woman talks back. Some men feel the most
Yeah,
disrespected when their profession isn't respected. You know what I'm saying? Like, or when they're not respected as a man in the household. Like, people feel disrespected when relatives, get involved in a relationship. Like, I feel like men
I
kind.
I I feel the most respected when I know someone, whether they agree or not, but they listen.
Hmm. Cause that aligns with what you just said about the appreciation of what you give, right? So that kind of That's a flip. Okay.
If
I
you
wouldn't try to force
really,
you, but I just got, you know.
I feel like if you listen to me, because I know I'm a genuine person, that doesn't mean a person gonna always agree just because I'm giving a
Just because you're
genuine.
right. Mm-hmm.
But if a person really listens to me, that's a sign of respect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They value my point of view. Some people not even listening.
Right.
You can hear it in the it's you know what I'm saying? So if a person listens, I think that is a sign of respect.
Mm-hmm. Okay, if I'm being honest, I'm still healing from.
I'm still dealing from heartache because the closest woman I ever been with in life passed away. And as much as I try not to make that an issue with women I deal with, I'm going to always give her tribute through my content, through this. So I feel like I'm dealing with extreme sorrow.
Mm-hmm. Me, I still healing from, you know what I'm saying, my wrongful conviction. So,
Oh, I don't know what happened.
yeah, but
Okay, are we still here? I don't know what.
Yeah.
I hope it
I
didn't.
said
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I'm still healing from, you know what I'm saying, the wrongful conviction and me being a part of society. So,
Hmm. I want to ask that one. I got like four more. Let's see here. The stereotype that bothers me the most is.
That all men are dogs.
yeah. I don't even, well, that one, but like, I don't really think the stereotypes for real is because people gonna have their opinions regardless of what we try to say or do. We gonna be so busy trying to prove who we're not, to be honest.
Hmm.
You know,
The future for Black men looks like.
if we don't wake up, then there ain't gonna be no future.
The future for black men, I believe, is going to be a lonely struggle.
Mm.
Hmm. If there was one thing I can say to change the mind of the Black woman for the family, it would be. It doesn't have to
Let a
be.
man,
I'm just asking.
let a man be a man.
If it's one thing that I would say to the black woman for the benefit of the family, is what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Love man again.
Mm.
That's deep.
Or
They
and even
express,
on that, even on that, like you said, love man again, but love man without condition. Because so many times we love
somebody called my
unconditional.
phone.
Mm-hmm.
Love without condition.
Who I go to when I'm struggling is.
God.
Yeah,
I need you to ask that again once you sit down.
God.
same.
Holding my position as a man means.
Just standing on what I believe.
Standing on belief and moving with integrity.
What weakens the man the most in today's society?
Woman.
Being a disappointment to a woman.
Mm. All right, two more. The last time I felt like breaking was.
I never had that feeling.
Hmm. You've never
I
felt like it.
had, I've been through extreme pain. I've been hurt,
Mm.
but I never felt broken
Hmm.
because of my belief.
I think I had momentarily, like when I lost a few people, and I questioned why was I still doing what I do? But it was only for a moment, and I had to, like I said, I had to dust myself off and keep going.
If the world could truly hear men, they would finally understand that
We hurting too.
I don't know because all men ain't the same.
hmm,
Mm.
with a man from where you sit.
Uh, for me, that we love our women despite some of the treatment.
Mm.
I think that's the main thing that I feel like most men would really want to be known
Mm.
is that we love y'all, the woman.
Mm.
Because we convinced that y'all hate us right now.
Mm.
And I think it's important that we want y'all to know how much we really love y'all for real.
Hmm. Why do you guys feel we hate y'all so much right now? Why does the black man feel that the black woman hates you?
She's already expressing that she don't need us.
Mm.
I need everybody I love.
Mm. Facts. Yeah.
So that's
She
coming
shows
from
this
a place
despite.
of
Yeah.
resentment
Mm.
and hate because it's not even a true statement.
Mm.
A woman that don't have the right men in her life, period, she's going to make disastrous mistakes in life. It's just nature. That's why women are out of line right now because it's no real male influence. Women didn't amass so much power because of government now and y'all can earn this and we don't need this and but if you look at them they so out of their mind every a lot of things that women do is for the validation of man. She's been so corrupted that she hates who she's trying to be validated by
Hmm.
Mm.
because she's been tricked into thinking we don't love. That's why that would be my main thing that we love you because
Right.
she think that we don't love her.
Hmm.
Mm.
We think that y'all hate us and y'all want white women.
Yeah,
Mm.
and that's just only because of the status.
There it is. Yeah.
Women become so vanity. certain men with status think that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all, but they not wise like Jasmine to recognize the Aladdin in some men.
Mm-hmm.
We see it all the time. Some women don't even like certain men, but if he's got status, that's why they're showing you what Usher and Chris Brown have the power to do right now because of their status and popularity. And I'm not saying that women don't think they're attractive, but they ain't the only. You get what I'm saying? It's a lot of their celebrity aura, and a lot of people are gone off of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to end it, but y'all keep saying more stuff that's picking my brain.
I'm done.
I'm trying.
I'm done.
So
I'm
look, you said
done.
earlier, right? You said, God, I hope I didn't lose it. I think I lost it. You mentioned earlier about the woman, and I think I lost it. Okay, maybe I don't need to go there. Something you said earlier, I wanted to kind of throw as a question. I can't remember. Yeah, I lost it. Yeah, I think I lost it. Oh, no. I got it. You talked about how you were, from my understanding, this is my translation, the insecurities of men, the insecurities of women, men are promoting it. We're pretty much almost like feeding the insecurities, right? Like they buying the BBLs, like, you know, so they loving the beat face and the, you know, the 20-inch weave. Why do you think that why is the Black man so supportive of the unnatural aspect of Black women?
I think that's false. Like, I don't really think men really, I think they promote that men support it, but men don't really support it. The true beauty that when men get together and we be talking about the beauty that we really see, it's always a woman that's natural. We don't really sit around praising the unnatural as much as y'all think. The reason why women think that because they know a lot of our women have given into status. So the powers that be can create who they want to have status,
and then they can promote that narrative. Okay.
Exactly.
I thought what you were saying.
Men
I thought
don't.
that's what you were saying earlier. Is that
Men.
Black men support it? Okay, I got you. I misunderstood. Okay.
We actually don't like the beat face. We don't like all the weave and stuff. We don't like that. But our women, the everyday man has been so overlooked and unheard in these modern times. Women don't care what the man with low status opinion is. They want to know what Chris Brown like. I gotta take my medicine, Miss Avery.
Yeah. Okay, I'm ending. What I'm still trying to figure out about a man is, that's the last one. What I'm still trying to figure out about a man is,
say that one more time.
I'm still trying to figure out what I'm still trying to figure out about a man is. As a man, what is that you're still trying to figure out about yourself or manhood in general?
Just what my divine purpose is.
Yeah. What I'm still trying to figure out from as a man. I ain't really trying to figure out nothing at this point.
Okay.
I'm trying to find my true purpose. So it'll be what bro said, trying to figure out.
So you're not trying to figure it out, like so. It's really more so not necessarily trying to figure out, because I do think figuring out and finding obtain is different. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I more so say find
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think, and that's for me personally, I don't think I'm trying to figure out, but I'm trying to find, and in order for me to truly find, I have to be disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got you. I appreciate y'all time. I knew we was gonna go over, but I appreciate y'all time, y'all patience, y'all input, y'all insight, y'all wisdom, y'all commitment. I appreciate y'all discipline, y'all platforms, y'all voice, y'all goals, y'all objectives, everything that y'all doing. Much blessings, much success, much favor to you
Thank you.
both. I end by saying thank you all for your patience, your subscriptions, your support. I end by saying if there's anyone looking for any investment properties in DC, Maryland, Virginia, Florida, or Georgia, you can reach out to me. That's Davis Development Group. If anyone's looking for any rental properties, whether it's short-term, long-term, residential, or commercial, you can reach out to me. That's Air DDG. Anyone need electrical service, whether it's a residential property or commercial property, that's Sendell Systems. You can reach out to me. Anybody need any athletic apparel? My 17-year-old son, now 18, yep, just turned the big 1-8.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Miles Davis, Be Empowered, that's CEO_BE Clothing. You can reach out to him. Let's talk about April each and every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Thank you guys. Much love and respect. Gentlemen, peace.
Peace.
Peace.